by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Luby, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox home show version. We are kicking off the week with a show at home because sometimes the schedule doesn't get completely filled up, and that gives me a chance to go out and get some things for the national holiday. And today we've got National Chicken Wing Day. Happy Chicken Wing Day, everybody. Defo, how are you? How was your weekend?
Very good. How's everybody here?
I guess we're okay. I'm a little bit backed up. I was so concerned with getting my chicken wings lined up, and I have an assortment of sauces lined up that I forgot to put us on the Let's Eat group. So I just loaded us up on the Let's Eat group, and I got some various sauces to go along with the wings, including our friends Wicked. Wicked has his hot sauce, and then of course we got the Burger Beast. I have his green habanero sauce. Green serrano hot sauce. If you could read labels backwards, you can see what we got. But I didn't have time. I did a walk of life this morning. You'd be proud of me, Defo. I'm back on track, and the last couple of days have been out. It's brutally hot out there, but putting some miles on a new pair of sneakers I got. So trying to get that heart back in shape. We'll see if it can be rehabilitated.
That's good to hear. I'm happy for you.
Okay. Did you get out there this morning? It looks like a little gloomy here. We're going to get looks like hopefully not a flood, but a thunderstorm coming up here in Dania Beach. But you were able to get out there on track this morning?
Very hot today. Last couple of days, I was able to get out there early because Luby took Shirley to the airport, which has become a habit. And I think this is a good thing you've discovered. I think you've discovered the key to marriage, a successful marriage. How have you arranged this? This is great. Every week he takes her to the airport on a Monday. We blow off the show, and he gets rid of his wife. It's incredible.
It won't be happening again, but I figured, look, it's summertime. We're slow in the sports world, so if I can get away with it and try and get as much points loaded up as possible, I will take full advantage of it. She can Uber, and the company she works for will pay for it, but it's like, if I can go a little extra, I've learned it gets me a little bit more. She's still going to be mad at me half the time, but at least it'll give me a little bit of leeway when in those moments that she's bitching at me. It's like, I try to do every little thing I can to try and get the scorecard in my favor ahead of schedule, because you never know what stupid ass thing I'm going to do in the next week or two.
But you're off the hook because she's gone, which is great.
Yes, she's gone for the next 3 days.
She's traveling a bunch for work lately, like a little bit more, right? She's got, what are these, work trips or some social media things? Because I know she is part of this. Is it a cult or whatever they call it? The chasing club that's chasing Cheryl's chasing.
This is work. She is a director at a digital marketing company, and they deal with hotels. So every other year, all these different companies that they manage have these freaking conferences and all this crap. So she, every 2 weeks until like mid-August, she's going away somewhere. But this would be the last time she can Uber. I was just like, you know what? It's summer. We're slow in the sports world. I can one more time.
Slow? It's the Olympics. Oh. I mean, isn't Sarney pestering you every 2 seconds with all the fascinating details of the events going on? I mean, I would imagine that I could say 2 words to trigger Defo, and that would be Olympic soccer, right? Those are 2 of your favorite things, or you did like the Olympics once upon a time, right?
I'm a big Olympic fan. Yeah. I love the backstories. Luby and I were privy to a great one with our good friend Howard Davis, who won a gold medal with the '76 Olympic boxing team, maybe one of the legendary contingents in certainly American Olympic history in one sport. 5 guys won gold medals, and almost all, I guess 4 of the 5 went on to win world championships. The only guy that didn't was Howard Davis. But to get to the Olympics, think about this, Mike Mayo. I know you're not a huge boxing guy, but just to make the team, he had to beat a guy named Hilmer Kenty, who was the first ever champion out of the Kronk Gym in Detroit. Of course, the place where
Famous Kronk.
Thomas
Tommy
Hearns
Hitman.
came
Yeah.
from,
Tom.
Manuel
Hitman.
Stewart.
Yeah.
Had many great champions. And then after he beat Hilmer Kenty in the amateurs, he had to knock off Aaron Pryor, who, of course, was part of that legendary bout here, one of the first big sporting events I attended in Miami, Pryor versus Arguello at the Orange Bowl. And that was just to make the team, much less win the gold medal. So, a lot of great stories there. And the heartbreak that he had experienced as a pro and never winning a championship, of course, was something that he never really quite got past.
I saw that Olympic legend just passed, and you were very broken up about it. Was it a Soviet shot putter? Or
Tamara Press. No, she checked out a long time ago. That was just a caption under the picture that she happened to die. But she actually started something that I thought was great because when it comes to cheating in sports, of course, we talk about it a lot. You probably had to cover it a lot in your sports writing career. But yeah, she actually initiated. She was so heavily, thought to be over the line in terms of steroid use that they actually started gender testing because of Tamara Press, thinking that she was indeed a man. And so, that's when you know you're a little over the line. That's Victor Conti.
Not only over the
20,
not just over the line, but ahead of her time, because that's now become a big topic of conversation in certain circles. People get all outraged about.
Now it would
What
be
gender
a very
were you
sensitive
born?
subject. Yes.
Yeah, but look, she was, I guess,
She was a two-time. I think she won more than 2 gold medals, but she won the gold medal in the shot put twice, and it was no surprise to a lot of people.
And did she?
You would have some waif-like girl going against her, and she weighed like 300 pounds. She looked like Gorilla Monsoon. But I remember her from the 60s and the 64 games, 1960 and 1964 was when she was prominent.
But didn't you get the memo? It's no longer referred to as cheating; it's performance enhancing.
Oh, there you go.
Some serious example of that.
I'll
never forget her. I was a 9-year-old when I saw her the first time, and I was like, "Oh, holy moly, what the hell is that?"
I can't, I covered a bunch of Olympic Games live in person. And the thing I remember, one of the highlights was, remember the pocket rocket, the Turkish weightlifter named Salamanu, I think his name was. But he was this squat little guy, and I don't know what he was on or not on, but holy shit, he was able to basically bench press a VW van. Like he just would pick up entire vehicles, and then just, and then you'd think his head and neck and veins would just pop out of his whole body. But man, the guy set some sort of records at the Sydney Games, and it was really quite riveting to watch, just to see this squat little guy. That's why they called him Pocket Rocket. Just pick up enormous amounts of weight. Literally a half ton or 800 pounds or something. It was just wild. And that's the kind of things that you see at Olympics game that you just say, no man can possibly do this naturally.
Valery Alexeyev, another one of my favorites. Although he was very popular, and I don't know that he ever came under the scrutiny of the international drug testing organizations that oversee these things. But he won every year also. I think that he was in the Olympic Games. Valery Alexeyev, one of the giants of weightlifting history.
Well, now, with all the diversification of the games and the sports competitions, do you think anybody is doping when it comes to ping pong or table tennis, they call it, or the new breakdancing thing? Is there anything that could be gained?
I wouldn't put it past anybody to be exaggerating the parameters and the guidelines of good faithful competition.
Microdosing maybe helps you focus.
Yeah, I guess you take a little microdose of shrooms if you're going to break dance. It slows down.
It's weird. Yesterday morning, I turned it on, and I'm flipping back and forth. I'm only watching it on 2 channels, I guess. So when I am watching it, the channel NBC and the USA Network. I don't know where else it's being shown. I guess Peacock, but I can't figure out how to get that, even though I think I'm a subscriber. And I turn on cross country equestrian the other day, and I immediately called my bookie. Bet an exact. I thought it was the first at Saratoga. It was 6 a.m, and this stuff was on. It was great.
I am king of the jumpers, so I would be prone to place a bet on the equestrian, maybe the dressage or something like that. Oh, speaking of which,
guys are rough.
dressage makes me think of Snoop Dogg, who's now a star.
What isn't he on this guy? He's a judge on The Voice. He's taking over for Stephen Colbert. I mean, he's running the Olympic torch. He's at every event.
I tell you what, I was a skeptic, but I read a feature about him, and I saw his the package that they put together for him on NBC primetime late night, and he was very amusing and very polished, quick, sharp. The package I thought was not. I mean, I think it's a welcome addition, and he's entertaining. And I remember, I guess it was the last Olympic Games. He kind of did a little bit of work, I think, with NBC, and he kind of compared the when he was watching the dressage competition in question, he says, "Wow, those horses are crip walking," which is a reference to the way that gang members would walk in LA at a certain point in time. But he, yeah, you know what? I'm looking forward to see what he does. And the New York Times did a hilarious. Well, they did a in-depth feature about what his role is going to be and how he's actually putting in the work and been spending a lot of prep time and meeting families and going out to some different competitions. He was out at the track and field trials last month in Oregon, but they had a picture of Snoop standing in Paris on the balcony with the Eiffel Tower in the background. And the caption of the photograph was
What's missing here?
No, the Eiffel Tower posing behind an American landmark.
I tell you, it was interesting. I read this morning and actually had a little conversation with the lowland talented Leslie Visser about it.
Oh, nice.
Because she thought it was cool that Flava Flav, the guy with the clock, the grandfather clock that he wears around his neck, rapper from distant past, actually.
Yeah,
and
Public Enemy.
He sponsors the women's water polo team, U.S. women's water polo team, because he found out that some of these young ladies were working like 2 jobs to be able to afford the time and the effort it took to practice with the team and try to make the team. So he started putting up his own money to sponsor these young ladies. And so he's a big part of it. I think he was in the pool with these. No, but that was interesting because, I mean, it's nice to see that this, person, of a celebrity status like he is, got involved with women's water polo and actually took his own money out of his pocket and put it in theirs.
It's nice, but it's also slightly sad that our U.S. Whatever federations and the different sports don't generate enough revenue to actually pay these athletes a living salary or stipend to train and be able to devote themselves not full time for 4 years, but at least maybe the 18 months before games to train and do what they need to do in competitions. But there's like in the general world at large, there's a huge wealth gap disparity between the haves and the have-nots. And some sports, like the gymnastics, they get all the sponsorship money and all the endorsement deals that you can manage along with the swimmers and whatnot. But if you're in water polo or field hockey, you're shit out of luck. So
crazy ass game, that women's field hockey. I watched some of that this morning.
Do you know that was the first sport I ever covered when I was a college journalist working for the weekly newspaper at Tufts University, the Tufts Observer. And I was a rookie freshman and I wanted to, go out for the paper and work in the sports department. And the editor assigned me a women's field hockey game. So I've always had a certain, fondness in my heart because it's a rough and tumble game too. Those little sticks, they knock each other around in the knees and the ankles. You gotta watch yourself around there. But yeah, it's a cool sport. I think Ken didn't like it too much, but that's his issue.
Isn't it super violent? Like I don't know if I've watched it, but I feel like there's like a violence attached to it.
There's definitely, whether it's deliberate or inadvertent, there's definitely some contact between that hard stick and different various bones and limbs. It is a rough and tumble sport. Speaking of bones, I got my chicken bones here. All right, so I didn't have enough time after the walk to make it down to our friend Pat Shenanigans because they don't open now till noon. It's their new opening time. And of course, when I think chicken wings, I think Shenanigans because they have world-class wings there. And you guys want to check it out. We'll be there for another show in August, probably after the Dolphins start their preseason slate, which, Pat always gets geeked up about the Dolphins. I don't know how he feels about the Tua contract. I don't think we've discussed the Tua contract.
It happened Friday.
Yeah, well, it happened Friday, so that's why we wouldn't. What do you think? overpaid, or that's what the market dictates? And now what? Considering you're paying boatloads of money to a guy who is, correct me if I'm wrong, never won a playoff game, right?
Luby has strong opinions about
No,
this.
Defoe's more sane though. I'm uber biased. I understand I have bias for Tua because it's been such a argument for the last 5 years, 4 years that I've like dug in. I actually respect Tifo's opinion on this a lot more than my own because mine's very clouded with the stupid Herbert fighting that has now got me in this corner where I'm fighting for Tua, even if it's not justified, to be brutally honest with you. So I'm curious about Defoe's opinion, and I can give mine, but I will openly admit it's drenched in bias.
Going rate, I think is part of it, but we've seen a lot of mistakes made in this area. So, I mean, that was the thing the Dolphins were facing. Whether or not they really wanted to make a $200 million commitment, 167 guaranteed dollars on a guy that, as you said, I mean, at certain times you wonder, is he enough to take you over the top? Now, you would have questions about a lot of quarterbacks in that category, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, from a mechanical standpoint, if I see this guy 4 years from now being great, but as Luby says, he did lead the league in passing yardage last year. And he has a winning record lifetime. He fits what McDaniel wants to do. I don't know that they had any choice but to go ahead and pull the so-called trigger on that, if we can use that phrase anymore, in good taste, and go ahead and give him the money, which may turn out to be a mistake. We'll see.
So the thing, which not frightens me. I mean, good for him. I love anybody getting any guaranteed money that they can, 157 million, 167 million, whatever it is. But the man, correct me if I'm wrong, but 2 seasons ago had what was thought to be maybe career-ending concussions. And if he's just one big lick away from having to retire, and then the Dolphins say bye-bye to 157 million. Well, I guess that is kind of a form of income redistribution. And Steve Ross, if anybody could afford it, he can. So I'm not going to cry too much. But what are the implications for that? Is that impact their salary cap if he gets sent up, hurt, and they have to pay the man if he walks away from the game? Or does anybody know this? Because I've stopped paying attention.
It rhymes with your duct. That's what happens when you make these deals.
Yes. So, look, I wish him well. I wish the Dolphins much success. I am a Mike McDaniel fan, although he has lost me at times with some of his boneheaded decisions, both, like in games, not thrilled with his game day coaching, and not thrilled with Tua. I mean, yes, he racked up the yardage and looked great early, but then when it came to big quality playoff opponents, playoff caliber teams, the whole team stunk, and he didn't step it up. The offense really struggled against good teams. So he hasn't really showed me that he's worth $200 million, but it's one of those things like he's got him over a barrel, because if you don't pay the man, he's going to sit out. And then who do you got? Then you've got a lost season. And so it's more annoying than ever being a sports fan, and we shall see. But at least the guy has really cute pajamas that he showcased on Hard Knocks for the Christmas when they did the team Christmas party and all the Secret Santas. So look, seems like a nice guy. Never stole a freight train, but he maybe did steal a bank vault full of money.
But I paid him this money, probably no, but I wouldn't pay anyone this money, and that's the whole contention is. And it's what Lisa said. Look, would I rather teachers and firefighters and policemen and people who make each and every day of our lives safer and better make more money? Yes, I would. But that's not why they're making that money. The owners are making billions. So it has to get redistributed down to the people we actually give a crap about, which is the players. And you have all these guys getting money and getting paid, and Tua is on their level, whether you want to say he's better or worse than Trevor Lawrence or Jared Goff or any of those guys. He's better than Kirk Cousins, who's made like 3 of these contracts. So to me, when you're a Dolphins organization that hasn't had a quality starting quarterback, including Ryan Tannehill, really since Dan Marino, I mean, Pennington was really more that team and the style they played, and he just got the job done, but he wasn't good, Pennington. And Tannehill was below average. Tua was better than all of them. And he's done it consistently now for 2 straight years. He played an entire season. He led the league in yards and touchdowns. He's been top 5 in yards and touchdowns the last 2 years. He's been MVP candidate the last 2 years.
Look at you, his agent. You're rattling off all these stats. I'm getting very nervous.
Reality when everyone does narratives. The reality is,
said the man who wanted Joe Biden to stay in the race.
I would still love to have Joe Biden in the race. I didn't realize.
I went. You seen those latest numbers? It's all flipped around.
A lightning rod for popularity. Like, no, even the Dems didn't know that. I mean, I
Kamala
couldn't
Mamala.
foresee this.
That's it.
But anyways, I can foresee there's no quarterback for the Dolphins if they don't have Tua, and that's why Goff got paid, even though is it really Goff or that the Lions have a lot of talent? That's why Lawrence got paid, even though he's last year they didn't even make the playoffs. That's why Herbert got paid, even though they don't have a playoff victory, and they've actually lost to the Dolphins the 2 times they've played the Dolphins. So like, it's sort of what you have to do when you have a quarterback from 5 to 15. You have to pay him, or you're going to be where you were. And I'd rather make the playoffs 2 years in a row than go 25, 10 years without making the playoffs.
All right.
Where the Dolphins were.
Well, enough Dolphin talk for now. We will get answers soon enough in the form of wins and losses on the field in the regular season, coming to you soon in September. We'll get back to food. We did go heavy on the sports in the first segment because there was no morning sports defo show. So we all got a little taste of some Olympics and some Tua contract talk. But now I'm getting a taste of wings. I did end up getting these wings at Publix, of all places, my local Publix. They put out these are my they call these the non-breaded hot chicken wings. So they got a little mild spice around their coating, but it's non-breaded. I don't know. What do you guys think about wings? Do you have them breaded like the Hooters style, or do you like them kind of naked and just with the fried skin, the crackling skin around it?
What do you think, Loopy? Where are you going for wings?
It's weird because I grew up loving the Publix drumettes, which are breaded, but when it comes to like going to like Shenanigans or Landlubbers and getting wings, I like naked wings. Like I don't want breaded. To me, it feels like it's too much.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'd rather them be grilled, to be brutally honest, because then it's like, okay, it's not as horrendous for me. And a lot of time it has a very similar flavor when they're grilled, especially when we had them grilled at Gilbert's the other day and they were really
good. They do it.
Grilled wings too, I guess.
Yeah. The Shenanigans wings are part half and half. They do a little quick deep frying and then they finish them off on the grill. So it's kind of like, you get a little bit the best of both worlds. But yeah, I'm with you. I like non-breaded and I like totally grilled, because the deep fryer is my enemy these days. But I figured I had to have a couple of wings on National Wing Day. And there was a post on Let's Eat this morning. Where's the best wings? And I know people always ask for the best, and I just dislike that term because it's so subjective. And it's like, you can talk about places that have excellent wings, really good wings. Gilbert's has great, the great grilled wings, and Shenanigans has excellent wings. But, it's whatever you like. Find out there what's one of your favorites. And I can't definitively state, how many places in town serve chicken wings. I mean, hundreds, if not thousands. I mean, I know everybody has their favorites. Of course, you like Landlubbers. There's a place called Uncle Al's out in Davie that's been doing it a long time. And that's actually where renowned chef Timon Ballou got his start, working the grill at Uncle Al's in Davie when he was a high school student. But whenever you can get them. I mean, I know there's a place up in Coral Springs, right? Is that Wings Plus?
They do a nice job. Look, what Wicked does, and I know they do 25 other great things at Wicked, but Brian does great wings. We're very spoiled here. We have a lot of people that do really good wings.
So I'm dousing it in all these sauces. I mean, this is a good one. This is the Eat Thai, my friend Sopanut up at the Thai restaurant he has in Delray Beach called Eat Thai. And this is his, it's a spicy chili lime sauce. It goes great with the wings, so that's good. I had a question because I had this Wicked sauce in my pantry, and it looks a little bit like off color. Does red pepper, vinegar-based sauces go bad, or is it just kind of they get a little discolored?
It doesn't go bad. It's statute of limitations.
Okay.
You don't even have an expiration date.
Okay. I mean, it's changed colors. I just taste a little bit.
Shake it up. Shake it up and use it.
It still tastes good, but I won't know the final answer for a couple of hours, I guess.
Brian makes one of the best hot sauces to put on wings. I mean, and that has a lot to do with your opinion of the wings sometimes. Wings are wings, but you put a good hot sauce on it, it makes a big difference. My favorite, when I first started eating wings, and it wasn't a thing I really did until I came here, there was a place, it was a little dump of a par 3 golf course called Pines Par 3. And it
I
was
know
just
that
south
place.
of Hollywood Boulevard. It's been
I've been there.
extinct for a while, but they had a restaurant in there, and I thought they had the greatest wings that I've had maybe in my history here in South Florida. I mean, that's probably been 30 years, maybe more, but they were great. I used to like Tark's Clams on Biscayne Boulevard.
Right. There's another Tarks, right?
They had some nice wings, but of course, we have several places that are a part of our roster of sponsors that do a great job with that too.
Yeah. Does your friend Dave do wings at Stingers, or is he just do?
Oh, Dave B, yeah, he's got good wings there. He really does. Brew's Room was always very popular when they first came out. But many places do a good job with that. I
Remember
used to
when-
be a big breaded fan, and now I'm much more in favor of the grilled wing with
Yes.
no breading.
Healthier the better. I don't know. Did you ever go to? Remember when everybody used to actually go to Hooters and get their wings? and
never
they-
liked
Hooters was one of my favorites because I like these big, thick things. And then somebody would ask from, naked, as they called it.
Yeah.
And you would see this thing, and it was like this little scrawny thing, looked like it came out of a can of sardines. And you're like, well, what the hell is that? That's what I'm eating? But with the breading on it, it was like the size of a turkey. It was amazing.
A lot of padding there at Hooters.
It was like that
Not
big
just with the
drumstick you used to
wings,
get.
but-
I don't know if you remember this guy used to sell the turkey, the big turkey drumsticks
Yeah.
outside of. Actually, they let them on the grounds for some reason in the parking lot of what is now Hard Rock Stadium. Turkey Leg Jack or something was his name. He had like an original food truck. And the wings with the breading at Hooters are that size, but without them, literally, you need an electron microscope to find them.
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of places that now have wings, we sampled some good ones. Those jerk wings at Even Keel Fish Shack the other day. And talking about great hot sauces, they have a tremendous hot sauce, and that brings me to the good news. The VIP tickets are indeed sold out to the event that we're holding on August 10th. It's called
Wait for
Pearl
Saturday.
Jam by the Sea, if you want to bring up the poster there. So forget about the VIP bar seating. That is sold out, but there's still limited tickets of general admission seats left. Get them while they last. They are going like hot sauce and hotcakes. And we're doing that in conjunction with Even Keel Fish Shack and our friends at Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. You can get tickets at either going to oysterpearljam.eventbrite.com or go to vlfoodwine.com. And the vlfoodwine.com website also has tickets to other upcoming events, because it's not just a 1-week food festival in January, although they did just announce the full lineup for next January 2025 already. I can't believe we're a quarter of the way into the new century. That's not so new anymore, but tickets are on sale for the grand tasting, and you can get some early bird pricing on that. But most importantly, you want to go and come out to celebrate the lazy days of summer with unlimited oysters, unlimited sparkling wine. We're going to have live music celebrating that band from Seattle that does some great hits that really jibes with even keel, even flow. We're going to have a Bellini bar, or calling it the Vitology Bellini bar. And it's going to be a good, fun time. Saturday, August 10th, 1 to 4 p.m. Get your tickets now. vlfoodwine.com. Don't miss it. And remember, all that's left is general admission. Get them while you can.
All right, Andy hit it on the head here, I think, characterizing the whole Hooters thing. He said he went there for the breasts and not the wings, which it really wouldn't have mattered what they had. The food was better than you would have anticipated, but let's face it, you went for the scenery. All right, more of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox in a moment.
Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. If you're looking for an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam. He's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo the Lunchbox sent you. Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox on a Monday, a little bit of a rainy Monday, lazy Monday. Yeah, we got to get to the contest. We have a winner, no ties, no drawings required, thanks to the USA basketball team finally waking up and putting a drubbing on Serbia. They won by 24 points, and it's exciting because we had 7 entrants alive going to that tiebreaker USA Olympic basketball game yesterday, because it was a chalk fest. Well, the contest race at Gulfstream on Saturday was won by the chalk number 8 Happy Runner. So we had 7 alive. Those people also got the Peruvian restaurant that I gave in honor of Peruvian Independence Day. How did you celebrate that, Defo? Did you have a little pisco sour yesterday?
A good friend of ours from the Ocean Manor Hotel, the lovely Samantha, who ran just about everything, every ancillary business out of that place, the hair shop, the coffee shop, the valet parking. She opened a Peruvian restaurant. You don't see too many of them. There actually is one around the corner on Hallandale Beach Boulevard. As I'm leaving Gulfstream, if I head north of Hallandale Beach Boulevard on one of the side streets there, And it looks interesting. I don't know, but
Well, there
I
are
haven't really frequented a lot of
There
Peruvian
are a
places.
bunch, and the one we were looking for was Bravo Peruvian Kitchen. They
Do a
have
great
2
job.
locations, and we've had them featured them on the Lunchbox with our Visit Lauderdale edition back a while back. The Coral Springs location, a really nice couple, and they do a good job. But it was Bravo Peruvian Kitchen, and there are many different Peruvian. I mean, these are lots of times hole in the wall mom and pop places. There are a couple of chains that Dr. Limon and Suviche, Suviche is kind of these regional chains that has like maybe 5 or 6 locations. Yeah, I've been meaning to get some Peruvian because ceviche is one of the great summertime dishes.
Very
It's
summer.
a cold, basically seafood or fish, chopped up, marinade, kind of like a cold seafood salad, and it's delicious with that leche de tigre, which is kind of a lime juice, marinade, and it's absolutely delicious. All right, so we got to congratulate. This is great. No tiebreakers, no fentanyl pills, no drawings out of a hat, no disputes. And it's not only a first-time winner, I think it's a first-time participant. So this was an impressive debut, winning the maiden right out of the box. James Van Soyek, I think that's how it's pronounced. James Van Soyek, Vansoyoc. Congratulations, you're this week's winner. You had the USA winning by 21 points, and I believe the final total was what, 24 points? Is that right? So
26. I think
26. He was the highest margin, and we had everybody who had the winning horse pick USA. Nobody took the flyer on the upset with Serbia, but the varying margins were between 9 and 21 points. So James Van Soyek, you had US winning by the biggest margin, and you are now the biggest winner. Brunch for 2 at 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park. It is a beautiful thing. Hey, we also got a welcome to the Lunchbox, our newest sponsor, Luke's Seafood in Davie. We love Luke and Roxy. What a great couple. And they do a good job with all the fresh seafood and stuff. Beautiful jambalaya there. But this is an odd way to begin because I'm going to tell everybody not to go there this week because
like, what?
they're on vacation.
I've never done that. Don't go there.
Well, last week we were telling people don't go to Tropical Acres when they had the maintenance
We
going
weren't
on.
welcoming them. Hello to the fam. Never go there.
No, we want them to go there, but they will be back from vacation 1 week from actually tomorrow, Tuesday, August 6th, because their typical day off is Monday. And they are on a 1-week holiday. They're going around to do some eating in town. I think they're having a staycation, and Luke actually was hitting me up for some recommendations. So, but again, great seafood there, 5511 South University Drive in Davie, right behind the car wash there, near the Home Depot by the corner of University and Sterling Road. But Luke's will be coming on board. We'll be cutting a spot for them and giving them the big grand lunchbox welcome, and we'll be back out there for a remote show on August 21st. So that's going to be fun. We'll get to eat some good food and officially welcome them to the Lunchbox family. And then we've got a kind of an offbeat lineup this week of remote shows. And I did, on the Let's Eat group, just post the kind of upcoming schedule. We got the August schedule taking shape for the road shows, and we invite everybody to come out when the restaurants are in service for lunch. Come on out, have a bite, hang out with us, watch us do the show live. And try not to get hit with the food flying out of my mouth as I devour it, which Defoe unfortunately has to try to dodge my detritus every day. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a celebration of the wrap-up of National Ice Cream Month. We're going to a new place called Sweet Aloha Ice Cream. It's an interesting story. I think the owner is from Hawaii, and he does like a Hawaiian riff on things, and he's got some interesting flavors like that ube ice cream, which is like a purple yam. And they were featured at the Walk and Roll Asian event at the food festival last year where we were, and I got to meet him. And so we're going to finally go out there for tomorrow's show. Wednesday, continuing the Asian Pacific Island theme, we're going out to Temple Street Eatery and our friends Alex and Diego, because they're celebrating their 10th anniversary in a couple of weeks, and they're having a special event. And we wanted to kind of help them get the word out about that upcoming celebration. That's Temple Street Eatery in Fort Lauderdale on Wednesday. Thursday will be class all the way, Defo. You've got to make it to this one. Boca Raton location of Casa D'Angelo with Chef Ricky. That is going to be 1 o'clock on Thursday up at their Boca Raton location of Casa D'Angelo. And then Friday, we're back in our safe spot, safe zone, happy place, Gulfstream 10 Palms, where we'll be wagering and drinking. Actually, you know what, gentlemen? You're going to be there. I'm not. I'm going to be doing my remote thing from Tallahassee once again, because it's the last.
When you go up?
I'm flying up on Friday morning on JetBlue, which I just got horrific news that JetBlue is discontinuing that nonstop service route to Tallahassee from Fort Lauderdale as of October 26th, which is just utterly dismaying, because I don't want to have to make that drive every time I go up there. I think Silver Airways. Has anybody ever flown Silver Airways? Because they still have
very risky. You remember Mohawk Airlines out of New York?
Piedmont.
Oh, no.
Remember Trump Airways?
Here's how you could characterize it. I'll never forget this. Mohawk was a division of TWA at the time. Used to occasionally fly to Syracuse from New York City when I came home, but more often than not, I was hitchhiking one way or the other. So my dog was with me. They used to allow people to see you off at the hangar or whatever.
Right.
And so my dog took a dump on the carpet in the Mohawk Airways reception area where they were putting, the checking the tickets to put the people on the plane. And I hear Mohawk attendant to the TWA terminal, please, because those were the guys that had to clean up the dog.
Oh, no.
They were such low regard, and it wasn't uncommon for somebody to hand you like an engine part to take out to the mechanic that was working on the plane before it took off.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Silver,
Harry needs
often
this.
delayed is the thing that you'll see parenthetically anytime that you book a flight. Often delayed.
Well, I've never flown Silver Airways. I've flown
good luck.
JetBlue lots of times. JetBlue, I will be able to kind of maybe take it up there for if I go for one of. I'm not going for parents' weekends because it's too early. Like, who has parents' weekend September 21st? Like, the semester starts August 26th. It's like I just saw the kid off. I don't miss her that much. By
Yeah, but they don't want to see you 3 weeks into their college career.
No, and I told Natalia, I'll come up on a kind of an off-peak week, maybe where there's like a garbage home football game, and just fly up. Then she's like, "Nah, I'm good. We'll just wait till next year." I was like, "Okay." But meanwhile, I am going up there to pick her up. We're driving her car back, and we're doing it the scenic route. We're taking a kind of daddy-daughter vacation weekend and stopping off in Cedar Key. But again, I will be chiming in via my special remote phone, probably from a breakfast or lunch joint in Tallahassee, just like last time. I'm sure it'll be thrilling, and but you guys will hold the fort with Joe Beja. Hopefully,
actually, I'm going to be gone for that one. Heading to Atlantic City that afternoon.
Yeah,
are you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then hopefully you'll get
Luby will be carrying the load of the show.
Ken. You'll get Ken.
I'll get Ken, I'm sure, and maybe Rudd. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll
All right, yeah.
It's hard to get us to do a show.
But again, I will be there, just virtually with my Zoom connection, or whatever we call that. So we'll sort that out. Tifa, how long are you in for AC for? You?
I'm going to be leaving Friday, coming back Tuesday.
Okay, well that's all fine and dandy, because we have a replay show on that Monday anyway.
Oh,
We're
beautiful.
going to be
All right.
taking that extra day off. So
Don't like to take time away from the lunchbox for gambling vacations.
Might as well. It's been away in a while, actually.
Yeah. No, I haven't gone anywhere for almost a year, which is pretty weird for me.
It's all good, and this is why we build in some of those extra shows. We do some extra shows, and then we replay them at the normal time. And boy, was that edition out at Runway 84 a ton of fun. I mean, Anthony Bruno busting my nuts is just priceless there.
Bruno's great. And you know what? He instituted, and let me see, who was it? A relatively new voice here on the chat line that referenced this. Was it Lucy? Was that the name of the person? I'm trying to find it here. I'm thumbing through a bunch. Talked about the coal-fired wings.
Oh, the
Oh,
wings at the original
And that was
Anthony's.
originally, I think. I mean, I know
That
it
was
wasn't
great.
an origination of theirs, but I mean, when they introduced it, I think they introduced it to South Florida with the onions and everything.
Oh yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. And the Sicilian oven does
They
a
carried on,
knockoff
yeah.
version that is excellent. And again, healthier, lighter because they're just they're not grilled. They're kind of oven roasted. They just throw them in that
Lisa,
high
the lonely Lisa.
Lisa cook.
yes, Lisa talked about it.
Talked
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. But
Those are great. I mean, I remember a neighbor of mine, the great Jim McKinley, who lived across the street from me, and was a great guy. And he couldn't get over him. I mean, when he first had him, he said, "You got to try these," and he brought me a bunch of them from Anthony's Coal Fire. There was one right there in the neighborhood, and I love them that way because I'm a big grilled onions fan.
yeah, those roasted onions on them, and I think they're not grilled at all. They just throw them in the oven.
Yeah,
and
roasted, I
everything.
guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Really
it's-
good.
and
Very
it's
nice presentation.
delicious. I mean, it started with Anthony's coal-fired pizza, and now Sicilian Oven is doing the same kind of thing, and those are great. So if you want to celebrate National Wing Day by going to those spots, knock yourself out. All right, we got to take our second break, but before we do, welcoming back in business 6 days a week, Tropical Acres. Yeah, they did take a little time off last week, and people were missing them. There was despondency on the Let's Eat group. I could tell that people couldn't go in there and get their $39 twin lobster specials last week, but they did reopen Friday. They had a successful weekend, and they are ready to serve you tonight, starting with happy hour in the bar, 4:30 to 6:30. Those great half-price drinks on anything in the house, including Belvedere martinis, which is my play. $8 for a Belvedere martini? Are you kidding me? I'll take 2 of them, and then go right into the dining room. And then wait, it's Monday, so that means it's half-price wine night. I'll take one of those, and then I'll take a twin lobster special, and why not throw in a little prime rib as well? You got yourself a beautiful date night for 2 for about $100. You can't beat that deal. That's why Tropical Acres has been around for 75 years, since 1949, and they know how to treat people right prices, great service, great quality product. Whatever you need, whether it's the steak, the filet mignon, or some of the seafood items, you go in there tonight. They're open Monday through Saturday. Butcher Shop is also open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday for those who want to maybe throw some steaks on the grill at home. And 2500 Griffin Road, just west of I-95. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Did want to mention a couple of things. There's a woman who's a server who is a friend of mine on Facebook. I see her posts. And she's had a lot of different jobs. I guess she's been working in that sort of breakfast lunch market at, what would be, bagel places and those type of places. And she's bounced around a little bit. And you have to take into consideration, people, that, I mean, when these places go on vacation, sometimes the servers are making nothing for like 2
Yeah,
weeks.
no money.
Yeah,
So the next time your bagel is slightly over toasted or whatever, I mean, I think that that this may be a person who just had to stagger around for a couple of weeks making no money. So take it easy on those guys.
Those
And then, there was
those-
go ahead.
No, those are the hardest jobs because they're turning tables the most. People want to get in and out for breakfast.
It's rough,
and the,
yeah.
and the checks are the lowest. So
Sure.
they're getting low tips. It's like a total churn and burn where you got to always be hustling. When you're at a breakfast joint and the bill is $12 or maybe nowadays maybe 15 or 20,
You can't go with this
25%.
15% stuff.
No, you got to give them 25%. You got to throw them at least a $5 bill. I mean,
$5 minimum. Yeah.
all right. So
It happened to me actually. I was working in a very, very high end restaurant at the time, and then I left that job, and I needed to get something else started a little while later, and I ended up serving breakfast and lunch at this place. And man, it was night and day. I mean, I made good money, but you really had to hustle to make the same kind of money. And then there was a guy who just passed away. I was kind of shocked to see this, and he was familiar to anybody that went on the
oh no, I'm still here.
local music scene. And this guy was always playing featured at places that feature music and food, Blue Jean Blues and Crazy Uncle Mike's and Funky Biscuit and Fishtails, these type of places. A guy named Joey Gilmore, local legendary bluesman. Checked out suddenly, and that was very sad. The entire music and food community knew this guy, and it was sad to say that he had a little stomach issue, went into the hospital, and boom, gone. So rest in peace, Joey Gilmore. He was a great guy and a great talent.
All right. Well, sorry to hear that. All right. Let's come back after these words. We got some more business to do, and then we'll talk about Luby's dad and his love affair with Little Reds
Oh, nice.
after these words on the Lunchbox. from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. For Prezzo Italian Restaurants, 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. I did some weekend eating out with Val. We checked out a new place on Friday night in Fort Lauderdale. Not so new. It's actually been around, I think, 3 or 4 years, but it's recently under new ownership, and they're about to change their name. The old name was Here and Now, kind of like a bar slash gastro pub with live music in it's kind of odd locations. Flagler Village, south of where that Sistrunk Marketplace is, but there's all this construction going on around there. But I had a really nice meal, and the couple that runs it, Jim, is a guy that used to work for Tim Petrillo's restaurant people group. That he used to work at YOLO restaurant, but him and his wife Yulia.
What do you think of YOLO, by the way?
YOLO is
Are you a
solid.
fan? Okay.
Yeah, I like it. It's
right.
been around a long time, and they revamped their menus a couple of times, and sometimes change things up. But sort of, good power business.
Good spot,
yeah.
Yes.
But this Here and Now, they're rebranding it as Lottie Bar, Laudy Bar.
Oh, like
See
Lauderdale.
new signage is
For
coming,
Lauderdale.
like Lottie, Lauderdale. That's going to be the new name. They're in the middle of kind of rebranding it, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more from them when we do. But some good stuff. They had
Yes.
we had a grilled peach burrata salad there that was very nice, and we had these lamb lollipops. So it's like lamb chops, but there were 4
Those
of
are
them, and they were
great.
succulent. They were perfectly. We ordered them medium rare, and they actually came out more on the rare side, which is we both love our meat like that. And it was marinated in some sort of special marinade. It was absolutely delicious. So recommend going to what they call it Here and Now, but it's also going to be known as Lottie Bar. It's on, I think, Northwest 1st Avenue, just on the other side of Andrews, and worth checking out. And good luck to the new owners there. Also was in Casa D'Angelo last night, the Fort Lauderdale flagship location. Can't believe they've been around 25 years, but both Angelos were in. I thought
Nice.
the big Angelo was going back to Colorado as a vacation summer home in Aspen. But he was around last night, as was the Angelo Massimova. And me and Val, we just sat at the bar, and it was a really fun time there because there's a couple of regulars. There's a guy named Mike who's a regular at Cafe Seville, who eats with Joey at the bar, usually on Monday and Tuesday. But he was in at the bar last night and had a nice chat with him. he turns out he's a major Democratic donor. He's a very successful guy, and we were talking about the potential vice presidential candidates. He's leaning towards thinks that they might pick Cooper from North Carolina to try to maybe pick up a swing state and edge up. And his theory was that by maybe flipping North Carolina and also maybe getting Georgia back in play for the southern things. But we'll see. Bashir seems to be a popular choice, but Kentucky's not going to flip. But here I am veering into politics. The food there last night at Casa D'Angelo, they had a fish special. I don't know. I know you're big into fish, Tifo, but they had on the specials menu golden tilefish from Florida waters. Have you ever had it?
A delicacy. Everybody loves it.
Beautiful.
Tilefish, yeah.
Tilefish is kind of a meaty white fish. It looks like kind of a Chilean sea bass, but a little bit firmer and a little bit more, I'd say, sweet flavor. And it just
it doesn't sound appetizing. You're thinking, well, what is this thing?
I'm eating.
It looks like a shingle, but no, it's quite a delicacy.
It's a great fish. He made it.
You don't see it on the menu a lot in different restaurants.
It was kind of a beurre blanc sauce with some mushrooms, like morel mushroom. It was like it was a gorgeous dish and somewhat heart healthy. I mean, I don't know if the sauce was exactly up to my cardiologist standards, but and then we had a nice, beautiful tuna tartare appetizer. That was heart healthy. It was delicious and beautiful chopped fish. So thanks to the Angelos out there. We had they have a great wine selection, including now wines by the glass that are top notch. So that was I'm very, very I was going to say proud that they're aboard as sponsor. I'm just grateful. I mean, I'm also slightly amazed that they would hang out with my kind, but no, they Angelo, Ilya, and I go way back, and he is class all the way. And I behave myself when I'm in there, especially at dinner time. So thanks.
What about Luby's old man?
Now that gets to the Lubitz portion of the review weekend. Yeah. But your dad is the one who went to Little Red's, which has been there on State Road 84 near 95 a long time. And I call that the ultimate breakfast joint. Tell me what happened. And then he was cursing us at Let's Eat because we rejected his post at first. What happened?
So I was going to say, I actually did a lot of home eating. We had friends in town. We were like boating Saturday, which is not my favorite thing, but
you're a Jew. Of course not. You're a land-loving Jew. Yeah. You go to a place called Landlubbers every week.
Literally. I'm not on the sea. I usually get sick in some way, and being pale and white, being in the sun, I'm not smart like Defo, who's done the sun every day his whole life so he can still be in the sun. I can't. I don't go outside of walking my dog. I'm barely in the sun anymore. So like when I have hours of sun exposure, it wrecks me, but so we went on a boat Saturday, and then we had friends over Friday. So we didn't really go out ourselves, but my parents did try a place called Lil Red's. My dad's been talking to me about it for weeks. I'm like, okay, it's like a breakfast place. It seems Mayo had a very different experience there, obviously being Mike Mayo, but my parents.
I don't want to knock it. I got to be honest. It's basically like the ultimate greasy spoon. It's like, they have really reasonable breakfast specials. You could get, things like your, biscuit and gravy and eggs and, ham, and you get the whole Grand Slam plate for like $9.99 or, it's reasonable. Back in the day, it used to be like $5.99. Now maybe it's $7.99, but it's more affordable prices. But I would just say the quality of the ingredients and the level of cooking is maybe not up to the impossible asshole-ish standards that I impose on places.
Look, the reason they liked it so much is we like for breakfast. I don't know about lunch or dinner. I don't know. But even nowadays, the diner doesn't have a diner prices. Prices now everywhere, which we understand. And we're not mad at the restaurant for doing it. But to go to breakfast, we went out, the three of us, and spent $40 on breakfast. And my mom didn't even get food. My mom got coffee and a bagel. My dad and I got the cheapest breakfast on the menu, and we spent $40 for breakfast. So, which is fine. It's what places charge, whatever. But they missed the days where you could go out for two people and spend $20 or less on breakfast. So going to Little Red's, they were able to do that. And they were very excited. They were raving about it. And my dad ran. He's now a guy who hadn't heard of Let's Eat, even though I've been doing a show on Let's Eat for 2 years. He hadn't heard of Let's Eat a month ago. Now I think he's like an already Platinum Plus member of Let's Eat.
Right. He loves chiming in, and we love having him. It's great. Except when he curses people out. Tell him no cursing.
My father's a crazy person. So you'll see Robert Lubitz at a bitching review near you, so just be ready for that. He's a crazy person. I own it because I'm a crazy
And
person
he
because
called
of
me a
me.
fascist? Is that
Oh,
true
he
that
didn't
he
say it
called me
was
a
you.
fascist?
I was gonna say you should just blame Mayo, but he was like, "What's wrong with the fascists on Let's Eat? They denied my post," and
Yeah,
I'm like,
his post got denied because he didn't put the city, and the rule is you need the
"Well,
restaurant
first of all, with
name
a
and the
father, you never
city.
know." My
Yeah,
father's insane. He feels like on Facebook, no one sees what you say. It's like, no, they
right.
all see. It's Facebook.
Typical
But I'm
keyboard
like,
warrior.
first of all, before you lose it, did you even put the location? And he's like, oh no. I'm like, well, they're weird about that.
That's
You need the
There's
location.
your answer. We're
So
not
it's supposed
weird
to
about it.
be
We're adamant about it because there's nothing more annoying than somebody says, "Oh, I just loved Campy's," and we're like, "What the frick is Campy's?" It's
there.
like
Can't you Google
Campy's
it?
in Delray Beach.
You can Google it.
I don't want to have every member have to go Google every time some lazy look. I'm not asking for a full address. We're asking for just the city. So give
Listen,
us like a target zone. Like, oh, that's near me. I might want to check it out. Now I'll go to Google and get the full details. But we want to just give people like a ballpark, approximation. So not to take it on your dad. I do it hundreds of times every week, and
I
I get
told him.
gleeful pleasure every time I do it. So
I told him he redid it with the city. It got up on Let's Eat, so anyone can read my
I
father's
approved it.
words about Little
I
Reds.
approved it this morning immediately upon seeing it. I said, aha, it has on State Road 84 in Fort Lauderdale. It's rules compliant. We can let it go through, even though I don't agree with his opinions. I'm more than welcome. No, and it's a good value place, but it's just like, when you get the eggs and the bacon and they're all kind of like bathed in that sheen of whatever it is they're using to cook them, and I don't think it's butter or the high end Kerrygold butter that bathes my eggs every morning. But anyway, it's a place that people like. They have ribs that are like done in a broiler, and I don't like the
No, I
ribs
wouldn't go
at
there for
all.
ribs. You made fun of
Some
Defoe for
people
getting steak at a place. I wouldn't go to Little Reds and expect like ribs like we're gonna
People
get
swear by it. People love their barbecue. They
maybe.
build themselves
I
as
wouldn't
not
go.
just as a breakfast place. They have pulled pork, which is okay. I'd rather go to Georgia Pig. But anyway. Oh, yeah, and Andy points out, coming from the guy who swears by Skyline Chili. All right, am I allowed my guilty pleasure? I mean,
Exactly.
hey, we got to take one more break before we wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox. But before we do, I got to put in the great word about our friends at Batch. And boy, are they, it's like a love fest on Let's Eat. Like every other, not every day, every other hour now, I am approving a post of somebody who's gone to Batch in Fort Lauderdale and just has to sing the praises of, and I think your father did that too. In this case, it was
Oh, he did.
completely justified because Kevin and Brandon, they tell me they are trying to win people over one customer at a time, and now everybody who goes in there get to see that bend over backwards hospitality of making everybody happy and not just taking care of you and your party if you have any special requests or if it's a special occasion or if somebody has an allergy, they'll make sure everything is just so. Now he wants like people who chime in and see about those corn ribs, which Defoe likes so much, the corn cob. That's kind of
That whole dish was terrific.
It's
Same.
If
terrific.
you're a vegetarian or whatever, you don't eat a lot of meat or
Yeah.
I mean that was great. That roasted pepper on there should not be forgotten. My friend.
It's a very inventive dish. Somebody posted about it yesterday, and then somebody's like, "Oh wow, that looks good. I got to try it." And then Kevin is chiming in after all these comments. Come on in here, and I'll buy you one on the house.
Oh
Like
wow.
that's the kind of he is trying to literally. It's a grassroots. It's like a political campaign where he is going door to door, shaking hands, and saying, "Come in, and I will give you a dish on the house. And if you don't like it, well, come in and have a meal. And if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back." I mean, that is a guy who believes in his product, and I believe in his product as well because Brandon and him are doing great work. 525 North Federal Highway. They're open every day for lunch and dinner, weekend brunch on Saturday and Sunday. Great traditional Southern classics. Beautiful cocktail menu, bar, drinks. Their Whiskey Wednesday program is outstanding. Go online to batchftl.com for all the details. And again, they got the free parking in the garage next door. It is a wonderful time awaiting for you at Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale.
Great place, and the people there, Kevin and Brandon, terrific people. I saw the post, and it is exactly them going overboard and bending over backwards to accommodate people. And Very happy. I mean, to see the support that they're getting on Let's Eat South Florida. A number, as you said, of favorable reviews and
It's working.
reactions. All right, we're coming back, I guess, to wrap this thing up.
Yes,
Man.
yes,
Is that
yes,
the story?
we are.
All right, in a moment.
And already one of the best restaurants in Broward, J&C Oyster in downtown Hollywood. At 2035 Harrison Street, this place is fantastic and worth a drive. It's got creative, cutting-edge seafood and more with an Asian twist and gorgeous cocktails. Chefs Raheem Seeley and Monica Dominguez cut their teeth at some of Miami's best restaurants. Don't miss some of these fantastic dishes, including grilled oysters, fried chicken, and the Thai red curry crab. Open Wednesday through Sunday for dinner with daily happy hour and outdoor seating. Go to jncoyster.com for reservations and information. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. All right, we're back to wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox. Enjoy your chicken wings if that is what you're into. I'm going to be actually checking out Three Sons Brewing tonight. On Mondays now, they do Detroit Pizza Night, which I really shouldn't be eating any of these things, but my brother went a couple of weeks ago and he raved about the Detroit style pizza that they're doing on Mondays only. So I was going to go check that out. I'm a big fan of the Detroit style pizza. So, all right, that's going to do it for today. Any parting comments or thoughts from Defo?
Yeah, everybody go out there, have a great day, and enjoy the fabulous dining scene that we have here. I'm going to, when Robert Lubitz is firing off, information, I'm following him.
Okay. You're going to go check out Little Reds? And again,
I'm surprised I haven't been there. A breakfast place. I haven't gone out to breakfast in a long, long time. I used to love it, but I haven't. I always like the Red Fox Diner.
Red Fox,
which is in like
great.
Lighthouse Point.
Yes.
That place is good.
Is that still there?
Many other fine places. Yeah, I think so.
Well, before we go, is the Nook? Someone asked me, is the Nook still
Cypress Nook? Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing there. Are they still doing that thing?
Well,
I want to ask you.
That's
I want to
a
go.
question for you.
Me.
I went there a year ago on a Sunday morning at the advice of Defo when he said that that the Nook, Cypress Nook, had closed down, but then I had heard somewhere that the staff had now they do these breakfast brunch takeovers at Checkers Old Munchin in Pompano on Atlantic, and I went in there last year and I had a great meal, and I wanted to go back.
That was the best breakfast I'd had in the country.
I want to go so bad.
Yeah, great.
So I think it's still ongoing. You could always call and check, but
I would check it out. I haven't heard much about it or seen much about it.
My only advice is, people should go check out Little Reds. I want to hear other people's opinions, and not to color anybody's opinions, but I would recommend maybe taking one or two Imodium before going.
Jerk off.
All right, and tell your dad I'm sorry. I'll try not to be so fascistic lately.
You crucified Luby's father on.
No, I did nothing.
You really are insufferable, Mayo. How could you not let that go?
You should do it.
No, it was.
I mean, the ex-wife, when you criticize her sauces or any of this other stuff, or somebody likes a tuna sandwich and you start ripping the guy. But Lubitz's father, come on. Look at what Luby does for you, my friend.
I want you to do
Give him a break. It wasn't me. I approved his post. It was somebody else that initially declined the post because it did not.
No, I want you to do what you did at Anthony's place. That Defo was like, "What's wrong with you?" When you took like carpaccio from like a place, like
that was
compared to carpaccio at just a regular Italian place.
It's a Runway 84. Yeah.
You should go and take a breakfast you got at like Grandpa's and put a picture.
Right.
Sorry, there are no grandpas.
Well, yeah, you can't beat Grandpa's for those bagels.
You go to the Waldorf Astoria in New York and get breakfast there.
Tell you what, Little Reds ain't
Steak
even,
for
they,
$100.
they ain't making no bagels at a place called Little Reds. Now they do have biscuits and gravy, but if you want bagels, you got to go to Grandpa's. All right, that's it for today, guys. We'll see you at Sweet Aloha Ice Cream Shop.
And where's that
more.
at?
I think it's on
City
State Road.
location, please.
Well,
before we,
Manor.
sign off.
No. You're thinking of Wilton Creek.
Oh,
We're
Sweet
going
Aloha
to
is
Sweet
not Wilton.
Aloha, Davie, State Road 84, and I don't think it's Pine Island. It's not Hiatus, but it's one of those shopping plazas. Nob Hill Road, maybe. But I'm going to send everybody the address. But technically, it's Davie, Sweet Aloha Ice Cream in Davie. They open at noon. Jim is the owner, and he's happy to have us out there. So we'll
Does
see
he have a
everybody
pineapple
tomorrow.
flavor? I would assume.
They have
Yes,
a lot
all
of
kinds of great flavors.
really good.
And I think he also does some food and some Hawaiian themed food. He might even have a can of Spam for us. So we'll see.
Richie's Italian Ices too. I stopped in there just arbitrarily the other day because somebody mentioned it. I think I did, but
Yes.
people were looking for real Italian ices. Still very good. I mean, very, very good.
Well,
On a
Italian
commercial level.
ices, I heartily recommend
Yeah.
Cecily's
Right now.
in Pearl Springs because they do great work. But again, it's ice cream month, but ices fits the bill if you're looking for a frozen treat this time of year. So, all right, that's it for today. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody, and enjoy every sandwich.
Try